It's good?
You're as Muhammad though, not AFI.
That's fine. That's me right here on the side. Yay. Sounds good.
Say something.
Um, all right, guys. So we're gonna start this, but first I gotta set some things up before we move forward.
Looks like delay.
Hmm?
Delay. Like now I see myself walking up.
All right. Wait, I gotta set this up. One second. All right. So what's going on Instagram over here? Designing. But I guess Instagram should be seeing the screen. Crap. I didn't think about setting this up.
Set it, place it on your computer.
It's not gonna work. Just gonna put it here.
It's a mad delay anyway, babe.
Sorry, what was that?
It's a delay anyway. Whatever you're saying right now hasn't come up yet.
Good. All right, so let's start this. Computer is so slow.
Say something like what you're supposed to do.
Say something what?
Like, say something. What you're
Yeah, so we're gonna start. Well, first of all, we need the right music because this is not working for me. Let's get the right person up here. There we go. There we go. All right. Um, okay. So now we can start. Um, First thing to do, that will be us, Illustrator. So I don't really know what I'm feeling like designing today, but usually what I do is I like to start with pictures. So the first things is, well, the first thing I want to do actually today is to design um, something for the channel that I'm just now starting, so that I forgot what it was, but I needed to design something for the channel. Don't remember. One second. Yo, this beat is nice, yo. Can you hear the music?
It's delayed, so.
So I don't think so. Huh?
Talk to like, what are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. If I'm
I,
doing.
because I'm playing the music, but I don't think you can hear it on the stream.
No, I mean,
What?
initial, like, hey, we're gonna show a little something today, like, so bear with me, or
All right.
something.
Okay. So, all right. So, not really sure what I want to design today, but you know what? Let's do a new wax pattern. And so usually the way I start by designing a new wax pattern is I start with images. And you want to go to like Excel, make sure you have an account. If you have something like that, that's pretty cool. And then you want to start with pictures of texture, but you want something very organic, something that's like something like that, like this. I usually look for marble or something that's very that has a pattern that's very that doesn't repeat itself so often, or it's just very random. So the first thing is just looking for something like this. Yeah, like this is very good. Boom. And then so once you got that, I should show it in Finder. That's perfect. So something like this, usually I try to make sure that it's black and white, but if it's not, that means I gotta open it up and then in Photoshop and mess with it. But Photoshop is really heavy, so it takes a minute for the computer to have it up and running. So in the meantime, we're gonna play with it in Illustrator and see what happens. There we go. Let's move this down. All right, so what I like about Pexel is that the pictures are like so huge, which is perfect for us. So in this circumstance here, you know what? I don't even have Twitch open, do I? No, I do. Right here. Boom. Got it. All right. So first thing you want to do is try to image trace this, even though it's green. In my experience, stuff usually live trace way better when it's black and white, but this is actually not bad. It's a good start. I have my own settings right here for the live trace, but you know what? I don't really like this one. I think I like the first one better. So what you want to do is what's a wax pattern? Okay, so wax pattern, it's West African wax pattern. And the reason why they call it wax is because it has something to do with the way the original fabric was done in Indonesia. And that had more to do with you know you're in the feed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that had more to do with okay, so the people there, the indigenous people of Indonesia, they had a specific way of printing patterns on their fabric that they loved. And when the Dutch East India Trading Company showed up, they of course try to like rip it off. But when they rip it off, it didn't turn out quite the same. Some of the images was displaced. And so when they tried to sell it to the Indonesians, they didn't fuck with it. They didn't like it. So what happened is since they had Africans working for them, these West Africans took those patterns back home And we, as West African, ended up liking them because we looked at every single one as being like unique because of how different it was. The displacement made it unique for us. So that ended up being wax pattern, what is now known as wax pattern. The biggest, and that Dutch East India Trading Company actually now is was sold like through over the years. Basically, the roles ended up in the hands of a company called Vlisco, and Vlisco is actually the biggest company that sells African wax pattern now, and it's Dutch, of course. So yeah, that's why they call it wax pattern. And to try to duplicate what they do digitally is extremely hard because some of the effects that happen um, really only happen because of um, like the wood and the actual screen printing of it. Some things are hard to duplicate. So why I start here is that you want to start with something that's very random. Um, it'll make sense later. Actually, I took out the white, but I should have kept the white here. I'm realizing I should have like Facebook up so I can know when people are saying stuff, because otherwise I'm just gonna ignore you guys. Now, where's my? Okay, there it is. There it is. Oh, I saw Jay. he, Jeremy. Uh, yeah, yo, what's good?
You can just say it.
Oh shit, I can't type.
Just speak fast.
All right, I'm getting back to work. So let's get to it. All right, hold on. I gotta mute this. Boom. All right. Okay, so now let's get crazy with this. First thing you want to do is like put a color to it. Any color, it doesn't really matter. I usually just pick something not too similar, but close enough. So you start with that one. The next step is geometric pattern. Most African wax patterns just have geometric patterns everywhere, and they're usually in three different levels. There's one fractal or like organic pattern, like the one that we're showing right now. Sure. Unfortunately, if people are watching on Instagram, you can't see the actual screen, so you're gonna have to like jump on YouTube or Facebook or something. But you start with a very random organic pattern like that, and then the next level or layer that you want to go with is a geometric pattern. So you want to go to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia has a lot of public domain material, and one of those public domain materials is I think it's Myers. Wasn't it called Myers? Hold on. It's Myers. Uh, no, no, no. Ornaments. Boom. There it is. Okay, so Wiki Commons. There we go. Myers ornaments. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so um, this is basically a study of a lot of geometric patterns. So geometric patterns like this, he goes from something very simple like that, and then he basically plays with it until he makes it extremely complex. So this is something, I mean, you can actually do this yourself if you sit there and play around with like stuff that you used to do in geometry class with a compass and stuff, but I don't do that. So, well, I'm not doing it for this session. Um, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna save this image and we're gonna retrace this image in Illustrator. All right. So now that we have that, we're gonna bring this here. Boom. And from here, we're gonna pick one of these that we like. It's really hard to tell which one is gonna work, which one is not gonna work. By the way, if you guys are watching on what's that? IG? Yeah, on IG. If you jump on Facebook or YouTube, you'll be able to see what I'm actually doing on the screen. Um, so it's hard to tell which one of these is gonna work, which one is not. So the first thing you want to do, you want to trace a few of them so you can play with them later on. Uh, uh, and then they might even come, like, usually the one that you're not even sure is gonna work is usually the one that works. Life is funny like that. So actually I'm not gonna do that. Let's do this. So first we're just gonna do the first circle right there. I guess this can be a lesson in like Illustrator, but I don't have my keystrokes showing, so you wouldn't know what I'm doing unless I have to actually like say every single shortcut that I'm using, which will be just too much work. All right, boom, there we go. And then we got one going down straight here, and another one, boom, down through. Okay, so now we're gonna do the circles. Move this over a little bit. Now that I'm doing it and like actually talking while I'm doing it, I'm realizing that like a lot of work goes into making just one wax pattern. Like it's crazy, but it's all good. Um, all right, boom, boom, boom. Let's line this right here. Let's rotate these. Boom. All right. Now we got a line coming through. Right through there. Are we doing that? I guess so. There we go. And one more. Okay. And then we have one that starts from here. You want to overshoot this one because if you stop exactly where you have all those endpoints, Illustrator will just join them, and that's not necessarily what we want here, because we want this one to be separate from all the other ones. So boom, bring that in, and take this one. I guess you can leave it here. Try to inch this one over. Whoa, that's a big move. All right, boom. So pretty much this one's done. You don't want to do too much detail right now on these things. You just want to kind of like do them and put them out. So already what you have here is kind of fun for you to play with. I'm glad that the recent versions of Illustrator has actually added like some sort of rudimentary like pattern working thing in there that you can have. So what we're gonna do is start putting some color to this. Let's see, maybe this, and then maybe the entire thing should have no. Yeah, the entire thing should switch that to maybe orange, and then these guys inside will have a different color, maybe some dark like a blue. There we go. All right. All right, don't worry about the colors. Like I said, right now, those are not as important. Well, they actually, let me rephrase that. They're actually extremely important when it comes to African design. Like color, it's a thing. It's a big thing when it comes to designing for a wax pattern or African fabric, because that's really what we're doing here. We're designing African fabric. So it's a really big thing, but Illustrator has a mechanism in here that can make it very easy for you to deal with that. So we'll actually make it easy on ourselves later on. Any chance you get to make something easy on yourself, do use it. Don't be a hero. Like there's enough work. You don't have to be a hero. Just take the easy route. Um, because some things you can't take the easy route on, and this is, I mean, like doing the entire pattern, you won't be able to take the easy route on. So you do have to do certain things the hard way. All right. So we're gonna. I like this shape, right? I could trace it, or I could just cut out shapes. So we're gonna cut out shapes for this one. Um, see. Boop, 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 boop. Boom. All right. Let's reduce this a little bit. The stroke is like a little too thick. There we go. Let's bring it down a little more. That's too much. There we go. All right. We'll move this over here. And then last one up here. All right. Now, they have well, what we'll do is we'll copy this, and then in a second we'll use it. Let's do this. Got you. So it's got to be. All right. So what we'll do is we'll leave. There we go. Boom, 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 and we'll leave. Boom. That one right there in the middle. It's I guess I should do this thing as an Illustrator thing, but I'm not right now. So that's just what's gonna happen for now. Hey everybody that joined. I appreciate y'all coming through. Again, we're just gonna design some wax pattern today. So what we're doing now is that we're making a little motif that I saw here that I like. So I'm gonna try to make it so we can use it in the wax pattern. There's no guarantee that this is gonna turn out good. I should have said that in the beginning. There's no guarantee that this will turn out well. This is just, you have to do this and you have to work at it a few times, and then sometimes even after you do all of that, it still doesn't turn out good. But I mean, there's no other way to do it. You just have to go through it. So hopefully this one that we're doing today is going to turn out pretty well. And there we go. Let me cut this part out. Boom. That's what I wanted. This little piece right here. So what you want to do is have a few things you can pull to. Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to see if this is gonna work for me. We're probably gonna pull this one too, right here. I know at first it can be a bit boring having to do all this meticulous work, but it's better to do this now, because if you don't, you'll just start working on the pattern, and then you'll get to a certain point where you'll have to come back and do this and like think of another piece that you want to add to the mix. So I just rather do them now and get them out of the way. So we're doing this one here, this one here. Oh, and by the way, I reopened the AfrLives store. If you don't know about it, now you know. It's I reopened it on Teespring, where it's drop shipment now, so I don't have to do all the work. I can focus on designing, and once you purchase, they'll just drop ship it to you, and you'll have your AfrLive thing going on. And the good thing about it is that some of the patterns that I've already done are available there. I'm actually surprised I don't have it up. Let's see. For Teespring. Oh, it's right here. Boom. Okay, so some of the designs I already did are up. So this was one that I played with mudcloth. So um, mudcloth is West African from the Mende tribe, and so the big lines that you see here going through are patterns that we would do on cloth, and it's called mudcloth because literally we will use mud to color it. Bogolan is what we call it in our language, and bogo literally means mud, and lan means like fabric. So it's translated perfectly. So what I did is I took the technique that I just showed you, where I took that pattern in the back here behind the lines is actually marble. I found a marble pattern that I liked, and I played with the colors, and then when I put the mud cloth pattern on top of it, it turned out like this. So I really like this one, and there's one more here. This was a really big breakthrough for me. This is wax pattern, and it's like the one we were just doing. A bunch of geometric shapes with some fractal pattern behind it. I was so happy when I made this. You guys have no idea. Like, I lost my shit, when because they actually came out good. I was yelling all over the place. But yeah, so it takes a lot to make them from scratch, but once you make them from scratch, you can put them on everything. So yeah, let's go back to work. Let's finish this. Did somebody say something? I'm glad you like those. I'm glad you like those, Gary. All right, let's get back to work. Boom, boom. Let's cancel that. We got this one, and I wanted to do one more here. This one might be a little more complicated for me to pull off, so bear with me, because there's not really a way I can cheat my way through tracing this. I kind of have to just trace it. So this is what happens when you talk to someone and you're like, hey, I drew this, and I can you digitize it, can you put it on a computer for me? This is what they're doing. They're taking their time and like retracing what you did on the paper like this. I mean, if you did it with ink, black ink on white paper, then I could use that method I used earlier before and just like have the computer trace it for me. But certain things the computer won't be able to do as precise as you. Like, for example, the number of these dots that I used, the computer will use a whole bunch more, and that'll just make your file so heavy. It's horrible. You don't want that. But yeah, this is usually what they're doing. So the more complex of a image that you give them and you ask them to retrace it, the more difficult time they will have. And that's why they charge you more. And you're like, man, why? This is why, because they're doing all this. All right, let's see. Boom. So we can kind of modify this one that we first made to work right here. By the way, can you guys hear music? Because I'm playing music, but I don't know if you guys can hear it. If you can, just let me know. But if you can't, it's all good. All right. So again, there's no guarantee that everything I'm doing here is even gonna actually turn out like nice when I'm done with it. You know, chances are I'm gonna do all of this. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna come back like 3 days later, take a piece that I use here, add it to something else, and it's gonna be like freaking amazing. That's always what happens to me. But hey, you gotta go through the motions. So let's do it. Okay, so now that we have this here, we're gonna rotate it, and we're gonna duplicate it as we rotate it. So that's one right here, and we gotta rotate it once more. Boom, a second time. Well, there we go. Maybe I should have done that for the first one. Let's do it again. Just rotate it and stop it right here. Boom. And then one more time. Boom. All right. Cool. We got most of what we wanted out of here. Let's just do the quick triangle and let's get out of here. Boom. 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 So what we're doing here, we're just going through the motions. We're not really doing too much self-editing at this point. It wouldn't serve any purpose to edit yourself at this point because you don't even know what the real pattern is gonna look like in the end. So you want to keep these at different shape and sizes. The key is that you want as much variation as you can without without losing everything, you know. So you want as much variation as you can in the pattern. So let's see, probably gonna put these two right here, and then this one looks like it might work well as like a successive pattern like this, something like that. All right, so it looks like it's just gonna cut through, and then this one is probably going to reflect on the other side here, right? So let's do, I think O, no, which one's the reflect? Yeah, O is it, yep, I hit the right key. So we'll put that right here, and then boom, reflect that here. Okay, so we're getting somewhere, or at least I think we are. Let's see, all right. All right, let's see. So we're getting somewhere here. I want some more things to add here, so I'm just gonna look at some of the stuff that I've done before, and see if I can pull some elements from them to add some variety to this one. Maybe not this one. Yeah, let's so I did this pattern today. I did this whole entire design today for the streaming service because, well, not the streaming service, but the streaming videos, because I'm just gonna try to do these like as often as I can. And this usually, oh, no music, damn. Hold on. I kind of my setup, I couldn't even do my setup. You know what? It's all good. I won't have time to set it up right now, so I just got to keep going. For some reason it's not getting my music, but I'm hearing music, so I would suggest y'all listen to some Afrobeat right now. Let me see if I can give y'all a link. Yeah, just go on just go on SoundCloud. Just go on SoundCloud and listen to some Afrobeat. All right, so let's move. So we got this, and let's see if that can fit. First of all, let's save this because we made enough progress here to, if we lose this, like, that sucks. We got to start back from zero. So let's call this streaming wax pattern. Boom. All right, save it in downloads. All right, so yeah, computer's taking a little minute. There we go. All right, so you see how big that is? Yeah. So when I design, I like to have a bunch of stuff like all in one place. I know some people don't like it. Some people design, everybody designs differently. But so this is the pattern, the mud cloth pattern I was telling y'all about earlier. So this is like up close, This is the pattern that it is, and then um when you put it on a legging, that's what it looks like. And it just all of it comes from actual um research. You don't just you can come up with it out of nowhere if you want to. So like this pattern became this pattern. And now that I go back and I look at it, I'm like, I didn't do it justice. You know what I'm saying? We might want to redo this one. So I'll put this one back in here. Nah, it doesn't turn out. There's something wrong with the file. I'm gonna have to just do it from seeing it. But yeah, so one of the things that I like to do when I design, I always like to have a bunch of stuff in the file because all of it together seems to it just works with my creativity. Um, if you can find yourself a bunch of pictures like this of just fabric, African fabric. This is examples of bogolan that I was telling you about earlier. And if you find the right examples, the right things will inspire you. The right things will get the right combination coming out of you. You can even use pictures. So this is a close-up picture of a zebra. We can put that in there and turn that. Matter of fact, let's do that. Boom. Because I saw it and it was on a one of those free websites, and I was like, yo, this is dope. So let's see what the zebra turns into. So we're gonna image trace this one. Okay. Let's play around with some of the options here. For your eyes, oh. See you for your eyes, oh. So yeah, I'm gonna fix the music thing next time I stream. But from what I'm told, I can't even play like actual like the songs that I like from the artists that I like, because if I try to put this on YouTube, they'll cut the sound out. They'll be like, yo, you don't have permission to use this music. So I'm just gonna see if I can find some free music for me to use. That's not even what I wanted it to do, but it took so long. All right, let's do this one. Let's see what that looked like. I like this. Let's play with that. So we expand this and we're just gonna reduce it, right? And first thing first, we're gonna separate the white from the black. White, the white, boom. And there you go. And you wanna ungroup this. Boom. So once you ungroup it, you wanna group the black together and then group all of this together. All right, once that's there, you can pick which one of these you want to use. But first thing, a lot of times when you find yourself with something like this, where it's just like completely asymmetrical, like if you try to turn this into a pattern and you move this here, that's not gonna work. Immediately there's a break right here. Everybody realizes what's happening. So what you want to do is, it's a funny little trick. You just copy and paste it, but you just make it like a square. It's hard to explain. You just have to see it. So you reflect it on itself like this, right? So it just joins. But then that's just on one side. You have to do it the other side too. So you do the same thing with both of them now. Boom. You bring it down and you flip it. All right, once you flip it, that's it. This pattern now joins on all four sides. Oh crap. Okay, this happens when you're working with something that's like has too many. You remember the thing I was saying earlier about having too many of those dots in your design? This is what happens. It's hard for the computer to like calculate the movement of all those dots together in unison. There is a cheat. There is a cheat you can do. Okay. So what we're gonna do is move this down a little bit and put that here. Okay, and then that, gonna take that out. I know. But just give me 1 second. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, we can paste that picture over here. And then we'll save it as a PNG. Because once you save it as a PNG, the background is see-through, just like that. That's what we want. And then once you save it, you can pull it back in and do the same thing that we just did. And it's just gonna retrace it, but with a lot less information now. You know, a lot less of those dots. And it's gonna make it easier for us to use. So let's call this zebra white. Zebra white. And let's put that in the download. Boom. It's gonna take a moment to save. All right, and then we can just delete this. We don't need that anymore. All right, let's come back to this because I feel like that was kind of a tangent. But yeah, let's get back to this. I like where this is going. I don't like this one. So over the years designing AFR, I kept some files that just contain, it's like my workshop. I go in there, I play with some things, and then I come out of there with something genius every time. Well, something that I think is genius every time. And these are those files. I think that's it, right? We gotta wait a second because this is gonna what's going on, y'all? Like I said, y'all on Instagram don't get to see what I'm doing on the computer, so y'all are gonna have to, jump on Facebook or YouTube, and then you'll actually see the work that I'm doing here. So, like I said, you see this giant thing? That is the workshop. It has too many things for one person to really get into, but you do the best you can. So let's pull some things in here that we like that we can then throw in here to try to complete our wax pattern. Boom. All right, so this is pretty big, right? Just gonna bring this down like that, make it real small, and then yeah, that one we can use as like well, we'll see what happens. Another thing you want to do is you don't want to make things too symmetric. So let's see, maybe I can, I'm trying to think through. Hold on 1 second. Let's throw it in here and see what happens. Okay. All right. I think I got some thoughts. All right, so let's start putting the pattern together, because up till now we were just working on all the things that we're gonna use eventually to make the pattern. So that trick I showed you with the zebra, we're gonna do it with this pattern here. So you see how it is now. So we're just gonna use it and we're gonna flip it. There we go. All right, so let's see. So if we take this one and as form, we reflect it 90 degrees, and then we join them. Boom. All right, so that does it for that part. And then we do the same thing again. You move it up, and here you just spin it. So what that does is it's gonna eliminate the hard lines when you do your pattern. It's gonna eliminate the hard lines that people are gonna be like, oh, this is where it cuts off. It's gonna eliminate that for you. So you take this whole thing, this giant thing, and then you just drag it in here. And once you do that, it'll make a pattern out of it. What I mean by that is that I know I use pattern a lot, but what I mean by that is, let's say we make a square right now, right? So with everything inside that square is blue for now. But what happens now is that with that, when we drag this whole giant file in here, what it did is it made a little palette, a little swatch right here. When we click that swatch, it'll put that pattern inside that square. That's what we want. And we want 3 of those that we can stack on top of each other to actually make one wax pattern. As crazy as it sounds, that is the best way I've found to replicate all of this. If you got a better way, let me know, but this is the best way that I found. So you want to do this, and then you want kind of like you want a simple geometric pattern over this. Let's see. Now the second layer needs to have a lot of space in between its elements. Let's see. No, not that one. Not that one. All right, let's look at this one. Oh, also another thing, you don't have to stick to the methods that I've came up with, If you have a better method of doing it, then by all means, do the method that works for you. This is another one of my workshop files. I take a lot of these things. Sometimes I turn them into patterns. Sometimes I turn them into borders, things like that. It's just things for me to, let's see. Let's flip this around. Now, one of the key parts in making these patterns is that you have to realize that the more variance you have in your elements, the better, right? Yes, they need to line up. Yes, they need to like make something. But if you want it to look African, you want it to look what's the word from it? If you want it to look African, it has to look hand drawn, handmade. And if you like don't do that, it's just not gonna have that look. It's not gonna have that feel. So with what we just did, we're gonna come back over here and we're gonna play on top of this thing right here and see how much space it lets out. Do you see what I mean? Let's see, maybe this is no, it's perhaps too big. I like these two right here. I like these two. Maybe if we do something like this. Yeah, I like this. See? Right there. There's enough space in between the elements of the pattern for the fractal in the back to show. That's like the most important part ever. Because once this shows through, it gives a certain level of complexity. So now we gotta this one doesn't have to be that like complex, like you could just repeat that. Yeah, maybe let's put a little space in between these two too. Boom. All right, that puts it down. It's just a little bit of space in between them. Maybe we want to repeat this triangular pattern again above here, but the other way. facing out. There we go. I like that. Okay. So what we're gonna do is the same thing we did with the other one. We're gonna give these this entire thing, you want to give it one color. It's very important. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys, maybe if somebody does this better, you know what I'm saying? You just come holler at me, show me what you did. But um, what I found out is that you want to give this usually one color. And again, don't worry so much about the colors working together at this point because Illustrator has a mechanism for that we're gonna use right after we're done with this. Now, this is the part where the size of each pattern. So we're doing three, a stack of three. 1, 2, 3. We're done with one. That's that yellow and green in the back. The next set is this brown that we're working on. This is where the size of the second one is a very important part. It needs to be much bigger than the first part. The first part needs to be like tiny, if you will, you know. But this part right here needs to be huge above it, you know. So it's very important to do that. I switched it to orange. Orange is working for me right now. So let's do that. And if it seems bright, it is bright. It really is, but don't worry about that right now. Like I said, there's a real nice mechanism we can use in the end. Yeah, I like this. So let's do that. So we're going to add that in here too as a palette. Let's move that to the side. We're going to take this. We're going to copy, paste it right on top of it. So now there's like 2 squares right here, right? And then before you know it, boom. There you go. Now, if you get in closer, you see that you have some edges right here that's not meeting. It's up to you. That's a stylistic like approach. If you want, you can go in there and fix them. If you don't have to do it. It's up to you. I'm gonna do it this time. Sometimes I go ahead and let it ride, but this time we're gonna fix them. Oh, I didn't even act. Am I too loud? You guys just let me know if I'm too loud or if I'm doing something crazy. Oh yeah, it's like I should use my instrumentals. I will. I will. I will. But let's get back to work. So what you want to do, like I said, is make sure they meet, right? This one doesn't necessarily have to because there's already enough space between the triangles. But this guy right here, yeah, it's got to meet all the way at the edge right here. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to move this down a little bit so we can have space in between that and the one above it right here. So that works. And boom, that bottom one works too. All right. So now that we're done, we can just double click out here. Boom, and we're out of here. All right, so at this point, there's a few more things we can do, but this by itself looks pretty nice. You can start something simple with this, but I think that it by itself won't really be that great. So I'll show you the mechanism I was talking about earlier. So let's see, where is it? Is this it? No. Yeah, it's right here. So Illustrator added this recently, I think like 2 or 3 versions ago, but I really love it. So what you do is once you click on that, whatever artwork that you have in the pan here, it's just going to recolor it. And then you can pick from different styles of colors. So like triads or monochrome or split complementary, it's up to you. So once you do that, you click on this right here and it will randomly change the colors of your pattern here. Do you see what I mean? Switch it again and boom, you already got something that's pretty nice. So another thing you can do is change the color it goes off of, right? So now we got the blue. Let's try that. Right, so that changes it to something that's more friendly with your eyes because the other one was kind of like abrasive. And so we got this one here. This one is a little intense. It's a little intense. I tell you what, I know what we're missing. We're missing some white. It's very I know a few patterns that don't have any white in them, which is surprising. But usually what you'll do is you'll end up with a little something that needs some white. So we're gonna reopen that specific the first layer here. And we're gonna change the yellow to white and see what happens once we do that. So we're looking at that now. We're gonna change. Is that the yellow? No, that's the green. You can tell by the main color right here that's shown. I don't know if you guys can see the cursor, but the main color that's on top right here, if you select something, it'll turn that color over here. So that's telling me right now that we selected green. Oh, sorry. You can look over here too. That's telling me that we selected green. So let's come in a little closer. And is that it? Ah, screw it. We're just gonna change the green. There's a lot of it. That's why it's taking a little moment to update, but there it is. You gotta avert your eyes. This is bright. Hey, so if you just joined on Instagram, I'm designing, but you might want to go live on Facebook or YouTube so you can actually see what's happening on my screen. From here, you won't get to see much. Let's see. All right, so now let's realign these two. 1, 2. Let's move this out of the way. And then now let's recolor this artwork. Oh, sorry, selected the wrong one. This one. Boom. All right, so that made it very ugly and monochrome. We don't want that. We want bright colors. Again, you know, you're designing for the African palette. You need the colors, man. That's what we do. Let's see. Boom. Something like that. Okay, so I like this. What y'all think? I like this as a beginning. Let's see what y'all saying, because you know, I'm just moving here, so I'm not paying attention to what y'all say. Jeremy, you got me laughing. Yeah, hey man, but you don't really use Illustrator for your work though, you know? So that's why you probably don't need to use it like that. All right, now let's get to this to finalize this. So we're gonna go with that. Even though I feel like that orange should be a different color. Yeah, it should be a different color. It should be more subtle. Let's do this again. How about let's change the saturation and brightness. That's what I want. A little more. Look like it's not working anymore. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go with the regular triad here. There we go. We're gonna go with a regular triad here, and we're gonna reduce one of the colors. No. Cancel. All right, so I'm just gonna change the color of this top one. So I'm just gonna recolor this one. There we go, or something like that. Let's switch it again. All right, so something like this is good because it's not too much above what's behind it, but it still puts a strong contrast there. I kind of still want to change it, but we'll worry about that later. Those those geometric patterns that we created, let's go back to them. So what I was hoping to do is to turn them into some sort of like repeating pattern, but let's edit these a little bit. First of all, do we need that? No, we don't. All right, so let's take these out. Let's keep that one. Oh crap, I forgot. Boom, there we go. Copy and bring that in. Yep, that was the wrong thing. Boom, there we go. All right, so now that that's done, let's try to put something in these guys here. And then let's try to put something in these guys here. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, all right, all right. Let's put all these in the blue, and then let's put this last one. Let's see. Oh, look like that's done. Sorry, I'm getting distracted over here by that. But all right, let's get back to work. So this, yeah, we can just duplicate that one. This one right here, we can just duplicate that one. So what we're gonna try to do is see if we can duplicate this entire thing. Well, make this entire thing one pattern that we're just now gonna lay on top of this entire thing as the final piece. But the thing is, it needs to be bigger than everything else. So we're gonna try that now. Let's see. Okay, so right now, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Like, it's not really jamming like I usually like it to jam. But let's see what happens if we play with the colors a little bit. So let's see. Okay, so that looks a lot better. But let's put more colors because again, like I said, this is the African palette. We want the colors. That's what we do. All right, maybe not this one. Let's try this. That's two. It's not quite there. Let's switch colors. Let's see. What does that give me? How about yellow? Let's start with yellow. You know what? I like to do this from time to time just to see what happens and just play with those colors. See, I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah, we're gonna say the. So I like this a lot, even though it has too many colors, and I didn't really refine the final the final look because these straight lines, that's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it, you know. But that's what we got right now. So let's work with that a little bit. We can come in here and finalize certain things. For example, the stroke, right? The stroke is too uniform. We can change the stroke to make it a little more like, you know, irregular. The more irregular it is, the better. Irregularity is a good thing when it comes to African design. Now that we got that, we can add a brush to it. But if we add a brush, we're probably gonna have to redo that effect that we just did. So the brushes that I like to use when it comes to something like that is something very simple. Oh, this is not working. Ah, hold on. I gotta bring this down. Oh, this is horrible. All right, let's bring this down. Let's take a whole nother set. Let's see, bristle brushes, accurate image, artistic. Let's see, borders, geometric line. I think it's the ink brushes that usually I use, right? Lines. There it is, artistic ink brushes. Yeah, there we go. So like, let's use something like this, right? And then let's add the the other irregularity on top of it. Boom. And now we can increase the stroke. There you go. Now that you got this, you can do something even more if you're really an overachiever. So what you do is you want to separate um all the all the filling from the contouring stroke. So let's just do it because I'm not sure I did such a good job of explaining that. Let's copy, and then we cut all of this out. Boom, right? So what we're gonna do with all of this that we have here is that we're gonna move it a tiny bit to the left, a little more up, and then we're gonna paste everything that we took from it right back on top of it where it was supposed to be, right? And then on this one, we're gonna take out all the stroke, and we're gonna move it behind everything else. Oh, sorry. Let me take this out. There's an easier way to do all of this. I can just group all the stroking together, all the strokes together, and then it'll facilitate this whole situation. Oh my gosh. Come on. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, computer was being slow. And so we group all of this. There we go. That's what we want. And then we paste everything on top of it, and we move it behind everything. Boom. And we group that together too. And we just, let's move it in a little closer. It just needs to be a little bit off. And this is the irregularity that I was talking about when it comes to wax pattern. You know, a lot of the irregularities, let's go a little bit more to the side and down. These irregularities were created by the Dutch trying to imitate this native method that the Indonesians were using, and they weren't able to do it. So they everything that they did, it just came off a little off, and that happened to be the reason why the you know what? Okay, you know what? I think I want to add something else to this. Let's go back inside that one. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a pattern inside the circles because they're too plain for me right now, and that's not what I rock with. So we're gonna add like something inside the circle. I like this right here is a classic. This is a classic pattern from when I was a kid. I replicated that from, and this is one of the examples of something that the Dutch made. It's a pattern that repeats like that on the fabric. And the well, when I was young, the name for it was record. And I think, yeah, because every one thing that you guys may not know is that each actual fabric has a name, and that the name for that one is record. So let's do this. That's one thing I have to do too. I have to actually name the patterns that I'm making, and and so one thing I'm going to do is to name all of them, give all of them African names, African names of women of the region that the artwork most resembles. So one of the ones that you had seen earlier, I call it Aminata, and the other one I call it Korotum. All right, I think this is good. Now we're gonna do one size style to art. Right, there you go. It's gonna make it a little more like that, and then we're gonna take that off, and then we're gonna make it a little wider than the artwork. So we're gonna increase that width a little bit, a few points, so it can put some space in between the motives, the motifs. Sorry. Yeah, this is when my computer gets a little testy, because I'm asking it to move all these things like a few points, and it's getting mad at me. Let's see. Okay, all right. Did it do it? All right, all right. I think it's good now. Oh wait, no, not yet. All right. Now, finally, we're going to do one of the last pieces on this to try to make it turn into something. You know what? Maybe we can even increase the regularity of this one, but let's not mess with it. The computer is already slowing down. So once we're able to add this part right here, we're just going to let it go. And all we want to do is add a little bit of texture to the motifs that we drew right here. You know what? I think I might have to just click out of this and come back. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to click out of it and come back. Oy. All right, let's see who's still here. All right, Kyrie, I'll see you later. uh, all right, let's finish this out. We got one more thing to do here. All right, so we're good. Yep, it looks like it's done. All right, so let's get back into this. Boom, boom. All we have to do is just add this new thing that we got to this one right here. All right, now let's see. We're going to ungroup this one because the only thing we want is this pattern right here. And we're going to lay it on top of everything like that and just expand it like that. Right. Now, we have some options here, like the transparency. Let's see. Even though I barely use transparency when it comes to um, Illustrator, if you darken it, just disappear. So maybe soft light. Yeah, that's not working either. All right, so let's not use that because none of it is turning out the way I want to. So we're just gonna put that behind the blue dots if we can. Yeah, that's what I thought. We can't. Um, let's see. That's because we grouped it. All right, we're gonna have to ungroup that. There we go. Ungroup it, and then we're just gonna lay it on the orange design here. Boom. All right, that's done. Now let's do the same thing over here. Let's copy it, get on top of here, and paste it. And that puts me right here. All right, let's bring it in. So we're just gonna push it. Well, let me redo that again because it can make it much easier if you repaste it right on top of it. Boom. All right, there we go. So that added a little more texture. I feel like the blue ones right here need some texture. So I'm just gonna take one of the, well, no, because those can be really small. We're gonna have to take another one from here. We can use this one. Let's see, because that has enough of a texture. Or you know what? Let's use this guy. I like that one. Streaming wax pattern. There we go. So let's post this one in here. All right, let's bring it there. There we go. There we go. So what we're gonna do here is just make this like a darker blue or a lighter blue because we don't want too much contrast. Yeah, I think a darker blue works. Or let's see, maybe a lighter blue. Let's go with a lighter blue. So let's go and jump in here and delete this one. So I'm gonna copy this one, copy, and paste it right on top of it, right on top of itself. And we're gonna press this button and it should do it. So we're just gonna copy it. We're gonna do the same thing for this one. Copy, paste, and we're gonna press that same button. This one too. Later on, we're gonna come back. We're gonna fix that pattern itself. But there we go. Copy, F. There we go. That's what we want. And we're gonna do the same thing here. Copy, paste it right on top of it. And then we're gonna add this texture. Same thing, copy, paste it right on top of each other, of itself, and then boom. So we got 2 more to go. And as you can tell, this file is getting heavy because of all the different layers that I have containing patterns, repeating patterns, and other patterns repeating. So we're gonna have to save this like now. There we go. All right, let's save it. All right, and then boom. Now let's back up a little bit. Whew, man, this was a journey. All right, so now that we got here, I like this a lot. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can mess with the colors of this one a little bit more to like finalize this design. At this point, it's just up to you. It's just a matter of taste. What works for you, what doesn't. Uh, I kind of like this, but I want some brighter colors. This one's not bad. Let's go for some brighter colors. There we go. Now that I like. All right, there we go. This would normally be the end of it, but it's not. So now that we have this and we did all this work, now we have to see what it actually looks like on um on a mock-up. We have to put it on something and see how good it looks. So first you want to make the load a little lighter for your computer. So we're gonna go ahead and separate these, put this in a totally different layer. There we go. All right, and we're gonna turn this off. This is the final result of all this work that we've been doing all day. So it took us like from 0 to this, and now this we're gonna see if we're gonna what it looks like when we put it on a mock-up. Bear with me. All right, let's see. What can we put it on? What can we put it on? We gotta look for. Nope. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Wait. I thought we had this right here. We had backpack setup. Nope, that's not what we want. This is the part where my computer gets a little tetsy because I'm running both Photoshop and Illustrator at the same time, and these Illustrator mockup files are huge. So every time I try to like put it on a mockup, it's an issue I have to really think about. Let's see. No, 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 no. I'm surprised. Wait. I had 1 second. Bear with me. I have to find where this is. I should have put everything together before I did this. I know. Let's see. There it is. We have the leggings here. There it is. That's what I was looking for. So I'm listening to music. All right, so we're gonna open this in Photoshop, and then from there, we're gonna see what happens. All right. Look like this is not working for us, so let's try it again. Sure. There we go. Boom. All right, so it's gonna take a while, but well, a little minute, but this is gonna open in Photoshop. While that is happening, we have got to save this file out. So what we're gonna do is make a really big file of this one, and then we're gonna just, there we go. And we're gonna save that as a JPEG or PNG that then we're gonna use in Photoshop. There we go. Oh man. Whew, this was a long one. Let's see. Streaming rights pattern. I don't know what we're gonna call the name this one yet, but let's just put it in our downloads, and then from there we can work. So from here, whew, this was a long one. I didn't even expect to like be designing for that long. All right, so now that we've done all of that, we gotta actually put it on. We gotta actually put it on the legging, and that's crazy, but it is. So we gotta actually. This is one of the ones I had done the mud cloth that I showed you guys earlier, but that's not it right now. It's a TIFF folder, so it should have the breakdown. I don't know why, but it seems like my TIFF folder, my TIFF file is not even acting right. Let's see. Why is that? If that's not working, we'll just do this one. And this is what you deal with when your computer is not that, well, because I don't have a MacBook Pro, like not a MacBook. I don't have an iMac Pro. I got an iMac. So this is what you get. Let's see. Force quake that one. There we go. It's taking a while. Let's see. Hopefully. Come on. There we go. All right. There we go. Now it's working. All right. Okay, so now the file that we just had, so we gotta be streaming. We gotta pull that file now. The streaming wax pattern. Stream SST. Wait. Where did I save that? Oh man, no, not now. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's back. I'm asking a lot for my computer right now. It's doing so much. Yeah, so I put it in download, so I was correct. All right, so we're gonna cancel this one. Oh my God, this is so much work. Come on. All right, the computer is having a hard time. So I'm opening these giant TIFF files. There are the mockup files, and they're just really huge. Uh, all right, let's go. So, um, oh man, here I thought I was good, and it just gave me the ball again. Everything stopped. Let's see. Turn this off. Turn this off. Don't save. Uh, and all of this simply because I opened these files here, and matter of fact, let me close this one because we don't need this one anymore. We just need this one. So that's just the one we're gonna use. In the meantime, we gotta open the streaming file right here. Streaming wax print. All right, let's see if we can find the streaming file that we just saved. So it's not here. Let's see. We got the streaming wax here. There we go. I think it's working a little. There we go. We got our speed back. Boom. All right. Now let's see if we can find this streaming. Matter of fact, let's just search for it. If our computer will cooperate. All right. And then let's close some more of these so we can like get some of our RAM back because we're out of it right now. Well, looks like that's not working. So let's go back. See what we have. Streaming. So you guys search this in downloads. There we go. Streaming wax pattern. Boom. That's what we want. That's what we want. There we go. Finally. Hey, we get to see some magic now. So we're going to open this now in Photoshop. If it will, if it's gonna. There we go. Boom. So opening this in Photoshop. There we go. That's what we want. So what we're gonna do now, again, we are really running out of everything here. Continue to close these up. There we go. All right, so we're gonna open up every little piece of this. There we go. All right. This was the original. I played with it a little bit, so let's do this. First thing first, let's start with the left leg, and then let's also open the right leg. Okay, so now that we have a wax pattern, we can simply paste it, not even paste it, just lay it right on top of this file here and save it. Now that's one way to go about it. I actually like the second way better, so I'm gonna do that next. But first, let's just do this. So when you do this, boom. Now, when you go back, you get to see what it looks like. And you know what? This is not bad for the final look. I mean, I'm probably not gonna use it, but at least we did something. You know what? Let's try something else. Let me put this because it's not bad, but I think we can work some more on it. So we're gonna make this a pattern in Photoshop, and then from there we're gonna see what it looks like when we change the size of the elements. There we go. All right, now that that's done, we're gonna minimize that one. We're gonna minimize that, and then we're gonna delete this one. Go and delete this one, and then we're gonna duplicate this layer. That's yes. Boom. There we go. And then now we're gonna change this effect to the pattern that we just made in Illustrator. Woo-wee. All right, let's see. Pattern. What is that? All right. So let's see. All right. This is the end now. As long as we can finish this up. Boom. We're going to save this one. And then when we come back here, we're going to do the exact same thing. Delete the first layer. There we go. Delete that. Boom. And then we're going to duplicate this one. All right, so let's paste this new one in here. Boom. And then let's save that. So when we come back here, what you'll see is that the pattern, the size of the pattern on the legging is changed. Right. I don't know if I like this better than the original, than the first one we had. Yeah, I don't think I like this better than the original that we had. So I think originally the smaller version that we had turned out was better. So let's just bring that back. There we go. So we'll just do the same thing we did the first time, where we'll just drop it on top there and save it. And do the same thing on this side right here and drop it on there. Let's see. I don't know why I did that. Let's try it again. Oh man, come on, Photoshop. Come on. Come on. You don't need to do that. There we go. That's all we need. Boom. And let's save this one on. Now the last part that I want to do is simply change the belt. And then that'll do it now. Honestly, I think I like it without the last layer on top of it. But when it's smaller, it looks like it works. There we go. This is what was updating that I made it stop, so it never updated the final one. There we go. Now it's probably gonna update it. And then I was doing the belt. Just one more thing. And I'm just gonna change this to be like brown. There we go. We're just gonna change it to brown and save it. And let's see what that looks like at the end. Yeah, see, that looks better, but we gotta update it because most people, brown is not like it looks brown, it looks green. I wanna I wanna update it some more. Now let's see what it looks like with the last one updated, because I stopped it from updating and now I'm like, come on, update. Almost there. Almost there. Oh my goodness. It's the last thing. Come on. Okay. I gotta do this right here. 1 second. I'm gonna move this over to this one and then update this one. That seems to be the move right now. There we go. All right, now that we have all of this, the final part that I'm gonna do, because even though I like this brown and this green when I started, in the end, when I'm looking at the final product, I don't like it so much. So what I'm gonna do is turn on that hue and saturation that I had here and play with the colors a little bit to see what gives. Wow. So I had already set the hue and saturation to a certain color, and I guess I left it. I had just turned it off. So this is the color that I had it set, switching what I previously had on there, and this I like a lot more than what we started with. Um, I don't even know if I want to change this anymore. um, okay, let's remember what this is at. Hue is minus 64. So let's see what it looks like somewhere else. Cause I really don't have anything that's, see, boom. I like this. I like the blue. Let's see. This is the part. Like the hard work is over now. You get to relax and like criticize your own work and be like, I don't know, I think it's okay. Now, this I think is the best version. So we're gonna stick with this one, and this will be the result of the entire thing. This will be the final work. So this is it. This is the end of the tutorial, or whatever, the stream. It wasn't really supposed to be a tutorial. It was just a stream of my design process and me playing around with everything to get to this final thing. But I got to the final thing. So this is good. I'm gonna, now the next thing is for me to go back to Illustrator and change the colors to match this, and then I'll upload that, and that'll be the things that you'll be able to purchase on AfrLives. So, like I said, thank you for joining me for this stream, because it was a serious stream. All right, now let's see what we got here. Oh man, where we at? Boom. And there we go. Finally done. Peace. See you on the next one. Well, if this actually does what I tell it to do. Oh man, that was a lot.